Goals you can see. Strength you Goals you can see. Strength you can feel. Newness you can smell, and faith so powerful you can taste it. These modes describe the sensations of a life awakening with purpose, the purpose and pleasure that is Ellerbe Elegance. The Sense of Success book is an honest, revealing, inspirational collection of mentoring, support, and spirituality. Ellerbe's ideas nurture your soul to shine throughout your daily life. Next, we have the perfect companion collection of rejuvenating scented candles curated to illuminate your thoughts and creativity. Not only pleasing in simplicity and design, the compelling scent carries holistic healing properties to provide a one-of-a-kind sensory experience. Ellerbe Elegance, refining your essence while defining your excellence. Goals you can see. Strength you can feel. Newness you can smell, and faith so powerful you can taste it. These modes describe the sensations of a life awakening with purpose, the purpose and pleasure that is Ellerbe Elegance. The Sense of Success book is an honest, revealing, inspirational collection of mentoring, support, and spirituality. Ellerbe's ideas nurture your soul. This book is an honest, revealing, inspirational collection of mentoring, support, and spirituality. Ellerbe's ideas nurture your soul to shine throughout your daily life. Next, we have the perfect companion collection of rejuvenating scented candles curated to illuminate your thoughts and creativity. Not only pleasing in simplicity and design, the compelling scent carries holistic healing properties to provide a one-of-a-kind sensory experience. Ellerbe Elegance, refining your essence while defining your excellence. Goals you can see. Strength you can feel. Newness you can smell, and faith so powerful you can taste it. These modes describe the sensations of a life awakening with purpose, the purpose and pleasure that is Ellerbe Elegance. The Sense of Success book is an honest, revealing, inspirational collection of mentoring, support, and spirituality. Ellerbe's ideas nurture your soul to shine throughout your daily life. Next, we have the perfect companion collection of rejuvenating scented candles curated to illuminate your thoughts and creativity. Not only pleasing in simplicity and design, the compelling scent carries holistic healing properties to provide a one-of-a-kind sensory experience. Ellerbe Elegance, refining your essence while defining your excellence. Goals you can see, strength you can feel, newness you can smell, and faith so powerful you can taste it. These modes describe the sensations of a life awakening with purpose, the purpose and pleasure that is Ellerbe Elegance. The Sense of Success book is an honest, revealing, inspirational collection of mentoring, support, and spirituality. Ellerbe's ideas nurture your soul to shine throughout your daily life. Next, we have the perfect companion collection of rejuvenating scented candles curated to illuminate your thoughts and creativity. Not only pleasing in simplicity and design, the compelling scent carries holistic healing properties to provide a one-of-a-kind sensory experience. Ellerbe Elegance, refining your essence while defining your excellence. Goals you can see, strength you can feel, newness you can smell, and faith so powerful you can taste it. These modes describe the sensations of a life awakening with purpose, the purpose and pleasure that is Ellerbe Elegance. The Sense of Success book is an honest, revealing, inspirational collection of mentoring, support, and spirituality. Ellerbe's ideas nurture your soul to shine throughout your daily life. Next, we have the perfect companion collection of rejuvenating scented candles curated to illuminate your thoughts and creativity. Not only pleasing in simplicity and design, the compelling scent carries holistic healing properties to provide a one-of-a-kind sensory experience. Ellerbe Elegance, refining your essence while defining your excellence. Goals you can see, strength you can feel, newness you can smell, and faith so powerful you can taste it. These modes describe the sensations of a life awakening with purpose, the purpose and pleasure that is Ellerbe Elegance. The Sense of Success book is an honest, revealing, inspirational collection of mentoring, support, and spirituality. Ellerbe's ideas nurture your soul to shine throughout your daily life. Next, we have the perfect companion collection of rejuvenating scented candles curated to illuminate your thoughts and creativity. Not only pleasing in simplicity and design, the compelling scent carries holistic healing properties to provide a one-of-a-kind sensory experience. Ellerbe Elegance, refining your essence while defining your excellence. Goals you can see, strength you can feel, newness you can smell, and faith so powerful you can taste it. These modes describe the sensations of a life awakening with purpose, the purpose and pleasure that is Ellerbe elegance. The Sense of Success book is an honest, revealing, inspirational collection of mentoring, support, and spirituality. Ellerbe's ideas nurture your soul to shine throughout your daily life. Next,
to take a time out before I move forward with a relationship itself and form a relationship with me. You know what I'm saying? Get to know me, love me better, and be able to have my security issues where I'm not so insecure where I feel like I need to check up on everything. Somebody says happy birthday to you on social media. Must mean since you responded back, and then they put a little heart. Must mean that there's something going on between you two. Like, seriously, we've allowed social media so much to formulate and our opinions of people that we're actually knowing our mates more so through social media than we are one-on-one, because we don't converse, and we converse through texting or sexting. But and you know what I'm saying?
But that's another thing. In order to get to know who you're dealing with, you have got to spend time with them. You can't always text them. Everything can't always be a text. Everything can't always be a phone call. You have got to spend time with that person in order to get to them. I agree but disagree,
but I understand what you're saying.
You understand what I'm saying? And then on top of that, and I understand where you were in regard to from a male's perspective. Women, honestly, and if I'm wrong, say something. Y'all jump in, because I really think that women, their level of hurt is different because they deal with the nurturing aspect.
I'm so glad you opened up this.
No, but here's what
I am. I'm about to assassinate you.
You could try. You're going to get assassinated right back.
Go ahead.
Before the assassination, I would like to interject after you make your point.
Okay. So I think that women, first of all, most women, not all of them, because I know some women that are not nurturers, but some of us are.
That's where I was going to go.
Yeah, not all women are nurturers. Okay, because I'm not going to bash the women either, but I will say some women go into relationships as the victim. They know how to play the victim role. They know how to say, well, listen, I've been through so much stuff with all these other dudes. If you don't know how to pay my bills, help me, take care of my kids, and do all this other stuff, then you ain't the man for me. I will shut you down if I know that you can't pay my bills. Oh, you can't give me money? I can't deal with you. What you going to do for me? I've seen this happen. But at the end of the day, that comes from that place of hurt. And unfortunately, in any relationship, right, but in a definitely repetition, and because you give people the benefit of the doubt so much, thinking that I'm giving this person the benefit of the doubt to start over, thinking that, okay, this will be different, and they end up doing the same thing that the next person, the previous person did, and then you go ahead and say, okay, fine, I'll give somebody else a shot, and then next thing you know, you do the same thing. So you're right. But then what about when you go in with a clean slate, thinking like, okay, you know what, I am going to give this person the benefit of the doubt, and I've been there, I've done this, I've tried to be the one to not be like the one that hurt him, but yet I'm being treated, or her, but I'm talking about from the female perspective. Absolutely. But even though I'm doing my best, I still get treated from him as if I was the one that did him wrong in the first place.
Look, can you let her respond to that?
Absolutely. So I'm just going to speak from a millennial point of view. I deal with me and my female friends a lot. I feel like it's different. So older guys are different. So I consider older guys 35 plus. So I could agree with y'all to a certain extent. But guys my age, I feel like you really have to be a mom. You have to be a girlfriend. You got to be a counselor. You got to be a lawyer. So it takes a lot to get what they call a cuff these days, or get into a relationship with a guy. So in my perspective, it's like I'll go into a situation and I got to be your girlfriend, I got to be a lover, I got to be your mother, I got to help you make all the important decisions in your life. I have to literally cater to everything you need with no complaint, right? And then it's this whole situationship thing.
No complaint, you being a woman complaining.
Okay. Which is nagging essentially, or why would I deal with you nagging me when I can go over here and not deal with it, right? That. And then this whole situationship thing, well, all a situationship is, or no title is, lack of accountability, in my opinion.
Right.
First, a situationship. So that means you do everything that you would do in a relationship. But you're just not
situation. You're just definitely old.
Yes, because even I knew that.
You're just not in a relationship.
Nosy Rosie, that's why.
Which just means like lack of emotional accountability, right? So for me, like when I think about, I do file my hurt, right? So it's filed in my head. So like if you trigger me in that file, then I'm gonna just like shut down. It's like done, and then
So can I ask you something? When you say shut down, do you mean with that individual, or going forward in any type of relationship?
In general. So and it's not necessarily just limited to a lover. It's my friends. It's my family. Like, if you make me feel a certain way, not that it's your fault, but also I do pride myself on being able to express. Like, I'm aware of it. So that's a step in the right direction. Like, I'm aware when I'm doing it, and I'm aware. So, and then also I feel like, not to toot my own horn, I definitely feel sometimes more emotionally advanced than my lovers, or I'm able to better intellectualize, because like growing up in a black household, especially like young black guys, it's just not common to express how you feel. I know when I was growing up, it was just like, shut up, you know what I'm saying? Especially, you know, watching my mom in her situations be shut up, not necessarily being told to shut up, but just bearing the burden. Like, just like in slavery, just bearing the burden, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is just what this is just what we do.
Yeah.
And then it's like me being 24, it's like I don't have no problem with like being a backbone for somebody, but like, where's my support? And why is it not ritual, like it's ritual for women to be support for black men? Why isn't it ritual for black men to be just as supportive? And then also another thing that I battle with, no disrespect to any other race of women, I feel like black men my age idealize like Spanish women or women who aren't black. And I had this guy tell me, actually, who we were shooting on film with, he told me, Lord have mercy, we were having a conversation, and he said something to me like, oh, Spanish women got y'all beat. And I'm like, oh, word, in what respect? And he was like, oh, you know, they just cook, and they just really like
almost demeaning,
but things that I wouldn't like. If somebody asked me about somebody I was dealing with, the first thing wouldn't be, oh, he take the garbage out, or oh, he's
what
you know
he does for you.
He paid my phone, like that wouldn't even. It'll be, oh, I think he's funny, or you know what I'm saying, like stuff like that. So it was just, but it's really like, I feel like black women aren't considered a trophy anymore. You know what I'm saying?
By the way, she handled that situation.
I did. I read him for Phil.
So let me ask y'all something. As y'all being around the same age as younger men, what is your perspective? Agree? Disagree? You have something to add as far as where you see? You know what I'm saying?
I will say before he answers, they respect me a lot.
We do.
Yeah, but I'm just saying overall.
Man, Sif.
I mean, like from what she said in the beginning, where there's some guys who feel like when it comes to dating that woman needs to be everything for them. Their mother, like, you got to be everything for me, and I'm not going to give you anything really. I do agree that is some people, but personally, that's not my take on it, and I'm not going to discriminate against any woman. I love what I love, no matter what. So. I'm just gonna respect you if you respect me. It's gonna be a mutual thing. We're gonna like come to the table together. It's not like I'm gonna be here and you're not, or you're gonna be here and I won't. Like it's not gonna work like that.
So let me, Marlon.
Yeah, I mean, honestly speaking, I would say I've been in a relationship for 6 years.
You're in a relationship.
Yeah, I've been in a relationship for 6 years now, and I typically
kudos to commitment.
I typically.
And this brother's been screaming her like he used to get on my nerves with her. I'm just being honest with you.
But that's how it should be.
Ever since, you know, you gotta pump your brakes sometimes because there's a reason why I said he used to get on my nerves. So my thing is he's always stood up and you know, definitely it was all about her.
Yeah.
Even when times I needed you to be like, pump your brakes for a second. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? He definitely handled it.
And again, it should be.
Yeah. So being in a 6-year relationship, I mean, when I choose my women, and I've been with one for 6 years, I usually look for characteristics like my mom. And that doesn't mean like I need you to do everything for me and I'm not doing nothing. We both provide for each other. Yeah, that's really my take on it. I can't really speak because I haven't been single or anything like that, but I mean, like, we take care of each other. Like, it's never you just gonna take care of me, you gonna cook clean, you gonna do everything, and I'm not gonna do nothing. Nah, we both share that. So
one of the biggest things you were talking about millennial and this, that, and other. I think a big issue that has always been an issue is, and you know, some women gonna get upset for this, but I don't really care because it's actually the truth. We baby our sons, and we sit there and make these boys we don't make them men. We don't make them accountable. We're so busy trying to be, and it's definitely a different generation. Like I know we grew up in a generation where it was, if adults were talking, you shut your mouth.
Yep.
Like you just didn't say anything, and y'all might have experienced that too, but unfortunately it's not in every household anymore.
Exactly.
When adults were talking, you weren't in the same room because they were adults. I wasn't allowed to sit there and ask my mother or my father or any adult why.
Or
you know what I'm
interject.
saying? It was exactly. Don't interrupt or interject when they're speaking. But with that, I find a lot of times these, especially single moms, y'all are almost making these boys like they're your boyfriends. And what happens is they start looking for these young women to play the same part as their mama did. Now, as a mother, yes, your job is to nurture. Your job is to take care. Your job is to sit there and provide for your children. But you need to understand and separate the two, because I look at moms that do this still. Like, you know, I had to say something to a family member. Stop creating habits for a kid. Remember, when a baby's born, they don't know things. It's certain things that's instinct. They know to cry for food. They know when they want to eat. But when you start putting them in your bed all the time and they're sleeping in your bed 24/7,
when you give them options.
Yeah, exactly. So then all of a sudden, this kid grows up and they're 5 years old and they're still in the bed all the time. And then all of a sudden, let's say you were single and you wind up getting a man in your life and you get married. Now this young boy has an Oedipus complex because he thinks that his mom is his girlfriend. You know what I mean? And he doesn't want to sit there and allow this man to come in and to be. So there's already resistance. There's already resistance when there's a strong male
this
figure.
Is so crazy because I literally oh my God. Lance knows me. We have these conversations about my life, but like I just feel like I can't even be, because Lance always says like, oh, you too, you know, I'm masculine, y'all know that, like I'm very much
definitely
I'm what they consider an alpha female. But like even dating back to like my childhood, I feel like one thing my mom always instilled in me and her boys is independence, because she ain't have it. So it's like, I remember like being 16, I feel like I wanted some sneakers or something, and she was like, I don't got it, and I like threw a whole like, I had a fit, and she's like, you could go get a job.
I would have beat you around that.
She did. So, but also, it was just like, so a lot of these, not that I see men or guys as weak, but I'm not able to empathize with certain situations, but also I feel like it's not that I'm not I'm not feminine, but I feel like I can't take my masculine off, because I feel like I always have to be a driving force. Not that I mind, but sometimes I just want to kick it, and that's what I'm saying. Like I don't want to always be responsible for
to feel like you got to be the provider. And
like you get with a guy and he's like, yo, I want to make films, you feel me? So now I got to connect you with Marlon because he do the shooting, and I done connected you with this person and connected you with that person, and you want to do this. So now I feel like our relationship is, you want to do something, so let me call Ricky. So then it's like my respect in my mind is just like, you want me to like follow you and be submissive, but you're not a leader and you're not taught that way. And then it's like, you're right, with guys dating their moms, and it's just like, I don't gotta do that.
So like I said, at the root of it, a lot of times is, so you have the millennial era, and like I said, a lot of the parents that were in a millennial era. Like, listen, I used to think differently when I was younger. When I used to get my behind whooped, I was like, I will never do that to my kids. I lied, because I mean, I'm being honest with you. I like, when I go out to do motivational speaking sometimes and my parents show up, one of the first things I do is I say, listen, Mom, Dad, I thank y'all for the discipline.
Nah, definitely.
Because now being a grown man, you know, even though I made choices and put myself in situations where I was in trouble with the law, my parents was always able to go to sleep at night and say, you know what, I did my job. So if you choose to step out and you be stupid or you get in trouble and you make those mistakes, it can never be said that I taught you any differently. Listen, I'm gonna give you a guy's honest story. One time my mom had to come to the police station, beat me in the police station. Dead serious.
Crazy.
She lit me up right there. And you know how embarrassing it is that you got to go back in the cell and Joker's just seeing you. That created all type of fights for me.
That's crazy.
But it's just like my mother wasn't playing that. My mother was that force. Even my oldest sister, she never disciplined me, but there was an age gap between us where she was like, yo, do what I say, and that was it. But I always knew that she was leading in a positive direction.
Exactly.
Same thing with my nieces and nephews. We discipline our nieces and nephews. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of family that I come from. I tell people all the time, don't ask me to watch your child if I can't discipline your child. Because the minute your child hit me with like, you ain't my mama, okay, you know what I'm saying, or you ain't my dad. Listen, so I find that a lot of these parents want to be new parents, and they, like I said, they want to be friend parents. So now it's time for them to go off on their own and start to form relationships.
Do you feel like older generations over disciplined sometimes?
I
feel like
some did.
Some of it was abuse. I honestly, like in my adult age, I didn't learn how to communicate until I was 21.
But see, that's the problem. There has to be a balance. There has to be a balance. So I won't say older but first of all, let's do history. The closer you are to slavery, unfortunately, the more it was harsher discipline, because that's what they were taught. That's what was happening to them.
True.
Where massa was whooping them a certain way. And like I said, it's a unfortunate thing to be a black man in today's society. Where, and I say not unfortunately, not like no, I'm gonna get to it in a second, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I don't take any burden off women, but we're dying. Like, and me and you had this conversation before. I walk out the house and I'm automatic threat to police officers right away.
So are we.
Right. Not there's no. You look at the statistics. Y'all are not getting shot and killed to the degree since this is beginning of time. I'm not saying y'all are not, but look
that
at.
Doesn't mean we're not equally a threat.
No. But you're unfortunately, when another man, especially as a police officer, you're equating what you might what you're capable of doing as opposed to how the world sees you. And I'm saying most police officers, the majority of police officers, there's a woman standing there, there's a man standing there, I don't care if they're black, white, green, or purple, they're automatically gonna be like, boom, him. And like I said, that's so unfortunate. We can sit there and take isolated cases all we want to. You go throughout time, even going back to the 60s and the civil rights movement, we were getting killed at an all-time rate because we were threatened. Now, agreeing with you what they said with the Willie Lynch letters, if he says to the making and breaking of a slave, the dynamics then were at that time that if you can break the woman, then you can break the rest of the household, because the woman was the backbone of slavery at that time. If you can get the woman to kind of go along with what everything else is going, you can get the father, the husband, the man, the kids, you can get them all lined up, because realistically, they were the backbone. So I completely agree with you, because there would be no Martin without daggone Coretta. There wouldn't be no Malcolm without Betty. Right. So they definitely.
What I'm saying is women's suffrage was, even today, and that day saw a point, it was always a secondhand thing. So originally with the civil rights movement, like before, it was like a big phenomenon media wise. We weren't let in to help make the decisions until later. And then it's like it took, and then even with white women, we had to help the white women get in before we can get in. So the black women consistently is always last. That was my point, and even unconsciously discredited. So I understand what you're saying, but when you say things like that, we can dissect the dialogue, and I understand what you're saying, but other people can't, right? So when you say, black men are, we understand that, but black women are too. And it's just like, I feel like another thing that we do in the black community is like we only can focus on one cause at a time. So right now it's the time of protect the black man, which I have no issue, which I take no issue with. But we can't never have like a multi-secular or a multi-dimensional cause where it's just like, okay, protect people of color or the black family. You know what I'm saying? So it's essentially how you made me feel in saying that is that we taking a back seat right now. Not that's not what you meant, but literally it's always a struggle to get us at the table or get our causes at the table at the same time, regardless of whether it's more of a murdering rate. We're still being murdered. On TV a 72-year-old black woman was just drug out of her car by 5 cops and called all kind of names. She's 72. What kind of threat could she be?
Absolutely.
As an older black woman driving down the street? Of course she's somebody's grandmother, so it's not unnatural that she be confused or disoriented, right? So that's just what I'm saying. It's just like, I don't know, it's just like we just always taking a back burner. That's just how I feel.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. Something that you said, Lance, and people on Facebook giving you a whole bunch of kudos. So big shout out to everybody that's agreeing with you, and I'm getting text messages saying, okay, Lance, I see you, because of the stuff that you guys are saying. Something that even in regard to a couple of the things that you had just mentioned, I know what it's like to be that female that is pushed aside because of another kind of
Cause.
Okay, now when it comes to relationships, on the strength of relationships, I have, now this is just with the whole hurt people. Lance, you pretty much know like relationships that I've had and so forth, right? So I'm honestly very much of the same person in every relationship. I have a cousin that has said to me that I put my guard down too much, that even though I'm in whatever thing that I go in, whatever how new it is, no, you let people slide.
Situationships.
But
what's wrong with putting your guard down?
And that's the thing. I have no problem putting my guard down. I have no problem saying, you know what? No,
you put your guard down.
But that's my point. Is like, all right, so like you said, you get in a situationship and immediately it's like, oh, this went wrong. And it's like, oh, you let him in too fast. You, and it's just like,
yeah,
I don't agree with that.
I'm gonna
because
tell
you
you
should be able to be yourself.
I should be able to be myself.
And pray that the person that you're with is going to protect that, and not going to sit there.
That's the thing.
I'm sorry to cut you off, Tip, but I say this sometimes. Sometimes I don't agree with too fast, and the reason why is because I want to get rid of you quick before I keep you around for later.
Right.
So my thing is, if I let you in and I see that you're taking advantage of it too quick, then I need to get rid of you quickly.
Understood.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit there and just let you all into the household, but I should be able to let my guard down enough where I'm going to sit there. And it's not a test because I don't want to go into any relationship playing games. But when I sit there and I'm being myself and you don't know how to nurture self, and it's just all about you, then you know what? I'll bow out gracefully. And I thank God that I've done that in the beginning, as opposed to waiting 1, 2, 3 years. Then all of a sudden the real you starts to come out because I feel like I can start finally being a real me.
Right.
And I've wasted 3 years on this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And
Let me tell you now. Let's tap out. Straight up.
In all, I'm consistent.
Blow myself in that
I'll give you a bomb. Look, I'm consistent with anything that I do.
Right.
When it comes to, well, not any but thing, I'm as consistent as possible. But for the most part, did you just me?
I wasn't, but now I did.
Oh.
I wasn't at first, but now I did.
But I try to be as consistent as possible. But I've had people say to me just with past stuff like, "Oh, you're too nice. You're too." I've gotten dumped one time for being too nice, but yet, right.
But you know what that is? That's somebody not being it like. That's somebody not being too nice.
But then you know what he said to me? I'm gonna tell you what he said to me when he broke up with me. He said, "Tiff, you are too nice. You're easy to love, and I still want to be a dog." And you know,
and
what?
I respect
that.
You know
that
what I said to him?
I'm not.
I said to him, I
before.
respect you 100%. This was years ago,
That's
and
great.
me and him
respect the person
are
for telling
cool
me
to this
honestly.
day.
But not only that though. Sometimes you have to understand. People have to know where they are in life. What stages they are in life. So if he said that I know I can't be faithful to you and you're a good person, I don't want to hurt you, cool. But also, I mean, what it is sometimes when people, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't like being around people that are super, super, super nice all the time. For me. And it's not because they're bad people, or it's not because there's anything wrong with them. It's something wrong with me. Because I know my thing is there. And what I mean by that is because I fool around a lot. I'm a very blunt person. So because they're super nice, sometimes they're super sensitive. So they get their feelings hurt easy. And it's like, dag, like, yo, I didn't even really mean it like that. But I don't want to have to watch what I say when you know what I'm saying, I should be able to joke with you. And it's not because they're wrong, or it doesn't make me wrong. Just certain areas we can't coexist, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Or it could be like, I'm not ready for, like, I meet somebody and I'm not ready for that kind of love right now, because I know I got some ish with me.
But at least you're honest enough to say that.
And it's just, it don't even be that, like, not that the person did anything wrong, but for myself, I know that emotionally I'm struggling. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's not even your job to deal with that stage of my life. You get what I'm saying? Or what I'm going through, and me trying to figure myself out, understand.
But at least you're woman enough to say that. People get into relationships when they're not. Hear what you said. You could, because I know women and men that will rely on the other. And let me know if you've seen this too, and let me know if I'm wrong. That will rely.
People sitting on my couch. They're dealing with the same issue.
That will rely on the other person to take care of their emotions, and it's really.
But that's
not,
what I said at first.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
it's
saying?
not
You're looking
that
for somebody to
person's
heal you.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you're not completely being healed. So when that person is not doing it the way that you feel as though they should doing it, instead of you looking at, you came into this relationship with this baggage, you looking at them like they're the problem. So what
Right.
happens is, what's the common denominator? You know what's the definition of insanity? And it's the second week I said it in a row, doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. So the thing is, you get in a new relationship. Okay, I'm done with this chick. Let me move on to the next one. I'm done with this dude. Let me move on to the next one. And you keep looking for somebody to put a Band-Aid over something that's essentially a wound, and that wound is getting infected more and more and more and more. So the older you get, you're becoming more set in your ways. Like you actually like, I just can't find a good man. I just can't find a good woman. Instead of saying, Dad, you know what? I'm on relationship 37 and I'm only 27.
Like it can't be everybody else.
I'm on 37 and I'm only 27. Like, at what point am I going to look at certain things that I need to deal with?
Right.
Also, with that being said, if you're going into any relationship, you have to be open to constructive criticism.
Oh, yeah.
And my thing is,
Oh,
you
yeah.
have to listen, because guess what? Maybe I love you this way when I was in a relationship with you, but because I move on to the new relationship doesn't mean that woman needs to be loved the same way. I got to understand what her love language. I tell everybody, read that freaking book, yo. You got to understand what their love language is, and what they need to do to be loved, or what they need to do to be nurtured. You know, like for me, I tell everyone, I hate the phone. I hate it. 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 So my thing is, I don't like talking on the phone 24/7. You know, and everybody can't deal with that, and understandable. So I can't be mad at everyone because they can't deal with that, but they can't be mad at me either when I've made it clear from jump.
Exactly.
I don't like talking on the phone all the time. You know what I'm saying? My thing is, I like to communicate other ways. Now, I do agree with what you said. When you first are getting together, yes, you do need to establish a foundation, and y'all might need to spend more time in this, that, and other. But case in point, as y'all as in the entertainment field, the more y'all grow, you're not going to have time for the relationships like you want. And it's going to take a special somebody to understand that.
Listen,
it's going to take a special person.
Even with us, like me and Marlon, it'll take us 3 days to have a conversation. Like I might text him and he get back to me the next day, or he texts me and I'm doing something. And it's just so, and I was talking to Lance about this the other day. I have trouble dating people who aren't creative, but have trouble dating people who are, because I feel like the only thing about a creative person is they understand the lifestyle or the moodiness. When you're an artist, you got to get into a groove, and I commend you for being in a 6-year relationship. If I'm writing or I'm working on something, I'm in a groove, which is a solitude.
Definitely.
And that's a special chick that understands that, bro.
And it's so crazy that she say that, because I experienced that now, and it's all honesty. Like, my girlfriend, sometimes she understands, sometimes she don't understand, and it's like, listen, you gotta reassure them sometimes, like, yo, this is, you know what I'm doing, you know what I'm trying to do, you know,
and
what I'm trying to get.
especially with you traveling, because
Exactly.
unfortunately, but you hit
Yeah.
something about reassurance. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
That's what I was getting
My
ready to
thing
talk
is, no, I'm sorry. You with the reassurance. The thing is, you know, the more you travel, you know what I'm saying, like, the more you're around, you know, like I said, unfortunately, social media starts taking on a life of its own. Social media starts taking on a life of its own, to the point where somebody sees you on with I don't know, they see you with Rihanna, you know what I'm saying, and everybody like, whoa, Marlon, let me Seth, you know, y'all doing your thing, and it starts gassing up. And if your mate is not really connected with you mentally, they'll start reading those comments and allowing those comments to take on a life of their own.
Or if you tune them out. So it's like, if you my dude, even though you don't have to have any expertise in writing, but I'm gonna call you and say, oh, Marlon just gave me this, we got a new project, what you think about this? You know what I'm saying? Or keep you like in the mix, or validating your importance in my life. And I feel like that's important, and that's what people don't do.
I like that
that's
validation.
What you have to do.
And, okay.
That's what you have to
and
do.
I'm going to be honest with you. That reassurance piece, that thing matters.
Yes,
because
it does.
the reason why your girlfriend
does.
can trust you to do what you're doing is because you've reassured her that she has to have nothing to worry about. And I'm not trying to be funny. The moment a man lets a woman know, baby, I got you, baby, there's nothing you have to worry about. I don't care where I'm going.
She's
I don't
not
care how
worrying.
far. She's not going to worry. She's
But
not
men
gonna
don't
question.
do it.
That's
They
the
don't
thing.
do it.
You reassuring her, the way that you do.
Yeah.
Let's not generalize.
Definitely.
You
Remember that, Ricky?
reassuring her the way that you reassure her
Definitely.
is the reason why she's still with you.
Definitely.
And
Because
that's
no
great.
woman is going to
Definitely.
stick around anybody
That's
who's
definitely.
not going to be reassured that she got a place in that
Yep.
man's life.
Yep.
And I'm,
Go ahead, church. Go ahead.
but it's the truth.
Totally agree.
That
Totally
reassurance
agree.
matters. You know
Yeah.
why? Because that reassurance lets her know, you know what? I don't care what behind, I don't care what boob, what dimple,
Yep.
what smile, what kind of eye shape she got, what kind of hair she has, regardless what switch in front of him, naked or not,
Yep.
that man is coming home to me.
Exactly.
That man is going to make sure he spends time with me, regardless what
Exactly.
country he's in. He's
Exactly.
going to make sure that I'm still a priority.
Exactly.
Women don't necessarily ask for much. And I know it may
That's a
seem
fact.
like a lot of them, just because
Don't do
of
that. Don't do that.
That's
You
what
don't-
my love. That's
you
what my
don't- you
love
don't- you don't-
language.
You don't date.
Verbal
you don't,
affirmations.
don't,
Okay.
don't do that.
Okay,
It
I'm
is.
sorry.
Because I'm gonna tell you because you contradicted yourself.
I just stopped.
Because
I'm
I'm just
stopping
about
now.
to say
Okay.
it depends what. Just like it's not men across the board,
Right,
and it's
okay,
not
I'm
women
sorry.
across the board.
It's not
so
women
don't
across
say
the
women
board.
don't
Okay,
ask for
I'm
much
sorry.
because you just painted a picture
Okay.
of how women's like, oh, you pay my
Lance.
this, you pay my.
Okay,
so
I'm
stop
sorry,
it.
but can I finish
don't
what I'm
date
getting ready
women.
to say? Okay, no, I do not.
Let's be very clear.
And I just lost my thought, what I was trying to
well, you were
say.
saying that about reassurance, but I'm saying sometimes it's not necessarily in a monetary thing that that's why I hate saying men and women. Let's just say people.
People.
Monetarily, sometimes people ask for more than they're willing to give or they can give.
Yep.
Okay.
And sometimes people ask for more when they're wounded, hurt people.
Okay. Yep.
They expect you to sit there and be that Band-Aid.
What I'm going to do is do a poll. I'm going to post a poll on the Making Me Matter radio show page. I need everybody to make sure that you guys check out the poll, because what I'm going to put a poll up is about do people, men or women, expect more? Do they focus more on the money? Do they require more? A general thing. Is it required more of money or time? And I'm gonna be honest with you.
I hate
care
these
about no
polls.
money.
I'm
I
gonna
hate these
be-
polls.
yeah,
And you know why? Because
why?
most people ain't gonna be honest with themselves.
If they had to be honest,
and most people are gonna sit there and be like, well, if I say money, I'm gonna look like the gimme dude or the gimme chick.
Got it.
So I'm not. So we're not putting
Thank
that
you.
poll
But
up.
here's my thing. Like when you said
After
love
her, let's
language,
take a
I
break.
took the test and I learned
That's a
about
great test, isn't
myself.
it?
It is that I'm big on like verbal affirmations and
Yes.
not gifts and stuff, but like I like to hear like, yo, you mad pretty.
Yes.
Or, you know what I'm saying? And yo,
You're
and it's
mad,
like,
you're mad pretty.
thank you. But I feel like, and the other thing, like he said with social media, because of who people think I am on social media, it's like she already thinks she do, and so I'm not going to
Oh, I
tell her.
catch that all
I
the
get
time.
that.
He got them he light skin, got them light eyes,
Right.
conceited, and you don't know. I crack your jaw. Like I'm
And
not
then
that
it's
dude.
like-
don't get it twisted.
And then it's like you deal with a guy, and like it's like, dang, I can't even think about.
Thank
like,
God for deliverance.
Have you ever been told me I was pretty? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Let me
But it's
tell you
not just that
something.
though, Ricky.
Yeah.
I mean, Newbie, I'm sorry. The physical thing is the reason I say that is
or you
because
smart, or you talented.
exactly, and that's what I was about to say. Because with love languages too, based on where you are in life, they change.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This might have been my love language here.
Mm-hmm.
Now maybe 5 years later, this is my love language. You know what I'm saying? That's why communication is great. You want to wrap up and say something so we can take a
No,
break?
we can take a break.
Okay, let's take a break, please. We will be back,
Yep.
and that's that.
Let's do
8
it.
Squad Rebel Radio.
The most talked about internet radio station in the land.
are my source of strength and comfort in good times and bad. Lord, I thank you for all that you are and all that you do. You continue to guide me in the right direction, and rest assured that wherever you lead, I will certainly follow. Lord, this is my prayer to you. Lord, I'm calling on you as I should have done before. You are the only one I can turn to. With you I need no more. Dear Lord, why didn't I look your way when you were there all alone to guide me through the storm? Raise my hand to you. Thank you for all you do. You have saved
Soul Train. All right. Listen. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Before
You gotta
we
get
go,
our sponsors.
That's
Listen,
it.
I'm on it, yo. I'm on it.
You
know who
really
pay the
are.
bills? You know who pay the bills?
Go ahead.
And first of all, I'm gonna shout out the sister first, Shar. Shar, you know what, girl? Listen, you got your thing going on. Go ahead. Why don't you introduce Shar? Travel with Shar.
That's
what I'm
Travel
saying.
with Shar.
Travel with Shar.
Whenever you have your travel arrangements that you need to book, whether it's for a honeymoon, a girl's night, a girl's week, whatever you guys need to do, you make sure you contact my girl Charlene Holt.
And Charlene, make sure you look for places that ain't got passports. I can't leave the country right now.
I cannot deal with you right now.
I'm just saying, I got about another 10 months before I can leave the country. So find places that I don't need no
That's a funny
passports for. You know what I'm saying?
That's hilarious.
I'm just saying.
That's hilarious.
So-
All
I'm
right,
getting a lot of
so
feedback.
Yeah, me too.
let me see. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I want to go ahead and, for those who are watching, I need you guys to tell a friend, text a friend, send a smoke signal, and let somebody. My phone? No. I don't have anything on. Lance, keep going.
Yeah, still here. Yeah. It's a little feedback and buzzing.
Yeah, I don't know what's well, in the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and
Yeah, we still gonna
these
introduce
guys
them.
here. And y'all, the two of y'all were here last week, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks?
2 weeks ago. There we go, Zay.
He's
It was
gone.
going for a hot second.
There it goes.
No, it's still there.
Oh, I heard a little bit. You're right. For 2 weeks, you guys came for 2 weeks ago, and I'm gonna allow you guys to introduce each other, and then we're gonna introduce this queen, and then we're gonna get started. Oh, look at her smiling when I said queen.
We knew.
All right, so
There we go. That's
there
it.
we go. All right, so go ahead, you guys, introduce yourselves, and then we're gonna get started with
Q&A.
Q&A.
Direct Focus Films. Let's go. Marlon, the director. Go ahead, brother.
Okay. I'm Marlon Curtis, also known as Marlon Director, CEO of Direct Focus Films, filmmaker, associate producer at BET Networks. Let's get it.
Joseph Sykes, also go by Sif. I'm a producer, CEO of Direct Focus Films, filmmaker, all that. Love it.
Okay, so my name
And
is
what's your name? Big what?
Big Sexy.
Also, I go by Big Sexy for the ladies.
Big sexy
Yeah,
for the
baby.
ladies.
Yo, you better get your plug while you can, boy.
Big sexy for the ladies.
That's right, yo. I was gonna throw you a bone, baby. Alley oop, slam that. There you go.
Big Sexy.
Go ahead, Rick.
So my
Nubia.
name is Nubia with 2 A's. I'm a writer, author, creative content entrepreneur. I do a lot of writing for Direct Focus. I ain't officially get my chain yet, but I work exclusively.
Soon.
I work.
You didn't get the death row chain yet?
Not yet, but I do work exclusively with them on projects. They do get priority over the projects that I'm working on,
Okay.
as do I.
I like that.
So, yeah.
That's good. That's good.
That's
So we're
kinda
gonna
sick.
start because again we know the up and coming project that y'all got going on that we all were fortunate enough to work on is Lucky. And we still waiting for a drop date, but you know what,
Still
y'all
waiting for a
drop
listen.
date. It's
Listen,
in
it don't matter.
post-production right
It
now.
don't matter. Listen. The anticipation jokers
Oh,
can
yeah,
wait.
nah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Exactly.
It is what it is. See that this what they don't know is how it's gonna unfold. You
Yeah,
know, you go for
yeah.
a short film, then
Exactly,
something longer and a
come
little.
on.
You know what I'm saying?
They know.
Jokers we just trying to give you a taste right now. You
It's
know
a
what I'm saying?
process.
But we want to focus on this sister right here because
Definitely.
unfortunately she wasn't able to make it a couple weeks ago.
Mm-mm.
But we got to sit there and when you're watching something, you got to understand the content of what was behind it and
Yes, sir.
one of the people who was the writer. So, Sister Nubia,
She was a driving force of this project.
exactly. Why don't you tell us a little, like I said, I know you gave us an introduction of who you were, but why don't you tell us a little something of like how you came about with this project and what it meant to you and, any other things you got coming up too. But we're going to focus on Lucky for a hot second first.
Okay, so firstly, I'm a writer. I write in all capacities: blog writing, author writing, and screen and film writing. I don't remember how me and Marlon met, but we clicked instantly and we knew like we wanted
I
to
can
do.
tell you.
I don't remember. I knew I knew we wanted
was
to
at
work
the
on a
Newark
project.
International Film
Oh yeah,
Festival.
we both worked at Newark
The first
International
year.
Film Festival.
The first year, she saw the cameraman Takar had,
Okay.
and she was like, "Yo, y'all look like y'all serious. And I
Right.
was like, most def, let's link. What we doing?
Yeah, I was working in their communications department at the time for the festival. But yeah, so I went to Marlon House and we sat down. We was eating like with some Cheetos or something, and he was like
smoking hookah.
just chilling. you know?
Creative vibes, right?
Yeah, that's what
It was
is.
a meeting, but it's a very family oriented business.
Yep.
So everybody is hands on. Everybody knows what decisions are being made, right?
Exactly.
So he sat there and he was like, I want to do something impactful. I'm from Newark and I want to, represent young black kids from Newark in a positive way, and also showcase what it's like growing up in that way and single motherhood. So when he approached me about that project, and I'm like, it'll be dope to show, because I immediately thought like about my older brother and how he used to like have to like wash our clothes out in the sink and stuff like that. So I'm like, that'd be dope just to show
The washboards too.
Yep.
yeah, like all the elements of what it takes to be like we were talking about earlier, like a young black. And I wanted it to be super authentic, like in
Exactly.
the interaction between him and the interaction between his mom. And I felt it was very important to have a black teacher and show these different placements within the culture, especially using the city of Newark, which is oftentimes looked at as a low quality education or a low quality upbringing, where
Or
it
just a car theft place, you know?
yeah, and it
All the
produces
negative connotations.
They think about Jersey Drive first.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Right.
and the struggle produces some of the best talent there is.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Absolutely.
if you don't got a story, what you gonna talk about? So
Right.
Exactly.
So with Chiron, it's like I want it to be very just authentic, very black names, very black narrative, and a very black struggle, and to show that like single moms do struggle, but they care. You know what I
And they
mean? And
provide
so
still.
and they worry and
Yep.
they provide and they're still moms,
Yep.
and that young black boys do struggle, but they're still students and they're
Exactly.
still kids essentially, right? And also to show how sometimes when you're black, you're forced to grow up fast
Exactly.
and not even be cognizant of it. Like, so I wanted to give Chiron a lot of responsibility and instill a lot of trust in him from his mom,
Exactly.
and a lot of do the right thing. And I wanted to place a lot of responsibility on the teacher, because oftentimes young black males look for fathers in different kind of people,
Exactly.
whether it's a coach, a teacher,
Mentor.
the boy on the block. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's like,
Exactly.
and also we didn't want to too much imply that the father wasn't in his life. It was just an open-ended question, because we're not saying that either.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
it was just like, it shows like influence, like where is the influence coming from?
Right.
And so, and me personally, I was very influenced by my brother. I went to college because he went to college. I was introduced to my spiritual practice through him. I was introduced to the creatives through him. So it was just like, he take a step, I take a step. He take a step, I take a step. So it's important about that influence, to where some of my other siblings weren't influenced by him. They were influenced by my cousins who out in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So our lives are totally different, but coming from the same household or the same neighborhood. Like, for instance, Marlon, his life is totally different from some of the people he grew up with, but it's all about what you choose to be influenced
Exactly.
by. And that is our responsibility as a community, to be an influence and understand that whether we want to or not, we are an influence
Most def.
to the young people.
And plus, I knew Marlon Sr. would have stumped your behind, brother. But that's
Most
good. That's that
definitely.
influence
Most
you talking
definitely.
about.
So with
Yeah.
Lucky, and the even reason why we chose Lucky is even like a what is it, the word I want to use, Marlon, a double entendre in itself,
Yeah.
because it's like essentially he's lucky.
It's like a
you know
play
what
on
I'm
words.
Yeah, so it's just like, it's a blessing and a curse to be from the hood and struggle, because
Exactly.
I feel like I have a book too coming out, Memoirs of a Bastard.
Oh
Y'all
yeah.
could,
Yeah.
Go ahead,
check
plug
that
it.
out.
Look right at the camera.
Yeah.
Tell it. Look right at that.
Memoirs of a Bastard, which
Yeah.
just simply talks about
What's the name it's going to be under? Is it going to be under
Nubia.
Okay.
Mhm. The all that comes with growing up in poverty or emotionally underdeveloped households, but not consciously. It's like, my mama don't know because her mama didn't know, and my father didn't know because his father didn't know. You know what I'm saying? But also, what I chose to be influenced by, and how I made my story work for me, and how work for others, so that you don't gotta be a sob story. You know what I'm saying? And your start is not where you finish. So with Lucky, we just really wanted to show the struggle, but make it so that you're not so much looking at him in pity, but looking at him as relatable, or understandable or understanding his struggle,
Yep.
but not pitying him because it's nothing to be pitied, right?
Exactly.
So,
How did you start off?
in
In
what
writing.
way?
In writing.
In writing, I don't know. When I was younger, it was just my mom just rough. You know what I'm saying? Y'all think I'm rough. My mom rough. So it was just, I used to just be mad, and I would just go in my room and like
Journal.
write down how I felt. And then when I was like 16, I was dating this little dude who was like a little rapper. So I'm like, I'm a rap.
I never heard that story.
Yeah,
Yo, this is, you see my eyes, yo. This is my first time hearing that.
look,
I'm like, you ain't tell that.
sis.
Go ahead. Let me hear some bars.
y'all gotta get the book. I have a very interesting, like, from 7 to 15 is some interesting things about me that shape who I am.
Yeah, we about
as
to drop
person.
a beat.
Yeah, no. You know what ruined rapping for me? I don't rap anymore. But no, so I'm like, so I used to like write little raps in my journal. You know, you ever seen Insecure? How Issa Rae be like rapping in the mirror? That was me. I feel her on the soul level because that be me. And then eventually that turned into poetry.
Yeah.
To where it's like rapping is not who I am, but I could write poetry. And then that turned into stories. And then that turned into me wanting to tell people stories.
Right.
And so I watch a lot of TV, not on TV, but a lot of like web series, Netflix, Hulu, and I just study. And like, it's how you tell somebody's story is important. I used to play this, we played this game at this workshop I did. I have a workshop called Black Girl Starter Kit. And it's like you tell somebody a story and then they have to repeat it. But they're going to repeat it how they heard it, right? So it's important how you
telephone.
it's important how you tell your story. So I would tell this girl, you know, told this girl one time everything about my childhood, and she was crying. And then she was looking at me like, why are you so like numb to it? I said, I'm not numb to it. I'm just accepting of my childhood. So it's not as triggering for me as it is for you. But the way she told it, it sounded so sad. And so I don't like to feel like people are pitying me. So when people are like, oh my, I'm just like, stop. Like, I'm great. It's just something to take in. So I feel like it's important, especially as a woman of color, for me to try to represent our community. And, you know, I'm from the hood, but eventually I moved to Montclair, and it was like 5 of us in the 3-bedroom, but my mom didn't want us to go to school out there. So, and then it's like half of my family's white. My grandmother's Italian. So I have experience, you know, with colorism and things like that in my own family. But I also understand a white woman's experience too, dating a black man. So I have like really different perspectives of certain like types of people. And so I always tried, and I was telling Marlon why I included him so much on the writing process is because I'm not a black man and I don't know what it's like to be a black boy.
Yep.
So I'm like, I always try to enlist people who, you know what I'm saying, to help me tell the story, because I ain't gonna let Marlon write no. Well, I would, but like you know about this.
You can't tell your story.
He can't tell my story, but he could tell it with my help.
Most def.
He could tell it with my understanding.
Sure could.
Yep.
Right. So I feel like it's just really important to me. I have 2 nephews and I have 2 brothers. And so when I'm thinking about Lucky, I'm thinking about my own 13-year-old nephew who my mom adopted 2 of my nephews and 1 of my nieces, who has a lot of responsibility over his younger siblings, because my mom and I work just like my brother did. You know what I'm saying? When we were growing up, like my brother would brush my hair and put it in a ponytail.
I love it.
Like and cook for me and wash my clothes.
I love it.
You know what I'm saying? So it was just like him growing up and me watching him work since he was 14 and
to make a great husband.
Absolutely.
And that's what I used to have to do for my daughter. So let me, in the interest of time, let me ask y'all something. We didn't get a chance to ask y'all this last week, and while you're here, you can all be included on it.
Gotcha.
So for us, like I said, being in the same age bracket, it's so unfortunate now, and we've talked about this before, where positivity is seen as something corny. You understand what I'm saying? It's so sad. Like for us, Spike Lee was making movies. You said "Do the Right Thing," and that was actually like one of my favorite movies. You know what I'm saying? So when you saw that, it was like jokers at that time definitely wanted to rock with the African medallions, and we were all about our people. Public Enemy, you know, KRS-One, Boogie Down Productions. Like you actually had to be able to rhyme in order to be a rapper. You know, MC was just that. You had to be able to rhyme. It wasn't just a beat. You know what I'm saying? And it was people usually talking about, like you said, X-Clan. I'm sorry. You know, you were saying things that were kind of like positive, or the Latifah with the woman power movement. You know what I'm saying? MC Light and, you know, jokers like that. Moni, you know, Moni in the middle and stuff like that. So with all that being said, we look at the times that we live in now, and we understand that unfortunately negativity sells. So I kind of asked y'all this before, but I want to ask y'all going across that
Gotcha.
she can kind of chime in on it too, that Nubia can kind of chime on it too. I said, me personally, like when you were writing it and I read my part, I said, remember the first question I said, does it have cursing?
Yep.
If it doesn't, if
Can't
it
be a part
does,
of it.
you know, or I need to change it because I can't
definitely,
be that.
definitely.
So you understand sensationalism and things are people are gonna try to get you to, you know, like, Dag, why y'all always talking about this? Just like even with the movie Nat Turner.
Yeah.
What was the name of it though? Was it
with Nat Turner?
no, the one
About Nat
the last
Turner.
one that just came out.
What is it? Oh my God, that's awful that I don't remember.
Frito
the name of it. No, it's what is it? It's a book. It was
is a book.
redone. It's a book.
Right.
What is
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
It's something with Nation, right? No.
Birth of a Nation.
Birth
Birth of a Nation.
There we go.
Birth of a
There we go.
Nation.
There we go.
So
Birth of a
so
Nation.
with that, y'all, I don't know if y'all know the story behind it, and they tried to get him to get rid of it, and then all of a sudden,
Oh, yeah,
once this movie was out,
I saw the
then they
interviews.
went into his background,
Yep.
like, oh, he got kicked out of Penn State,
Yep.
he was
Right.
accused
Yep.
of rape, and
Mhm.
just wanted to smear his name.
Yep.
So how do y'all? First of all, two questions. One, who's somebody who is a favorite actor, director for you, and how do you stay? Let's do that first. Who's somebody who's a favorite
Okay.
actor and director for you?
Really directors, Tyler Perry, Will Packer, Ava, of course.
Oh, definitely.
But Tyler Perry is really the driving force behind. Noob disagree with me all the time, but the only reason why I say that is because of his background story.
Yes.
Where he come
He
from.
came from a lot.
He came from a lot. So
it
and
back.
I didn't
And
come from
sacrifice a
Pay
lot.
it forward.
Exactly. And
Give
his
it back.
story, it drove me so much, and it was just like, yo, like, and he tells black people stories. So it was just like, I feel like that. I feel like he
Not
tells
all
black
of
people
them.
stories. So that's why I got into filmmaking and like took it for.
So that was your
full
inspiration.
force.
What
Yeah.
about you, Nubia?
I just want to say I'm very much fan of the Medea plays. Tyler Perry doesn't tell all black stories. We're not all out here drugging and
That's true.
raping
That's
and doing
true.
all of that,
That's
right?
very true.
Okay, but I would say Shonda Rhimes. I'm a feel more of a TV writer. Shonda Rhimes, Ava DuVernay, Issa Rae. Y'all gotta watch this show called Handmaid's Tale. Whoever did that is impeccable.
I saw it.
Impeccable.
I gotta see that.
It be
That-
hurt my
I have
stomach
not
sometimes
watched it.
watching
I
it for
gotta
too
see it.
long because it's it can, like, especially the beginning, the
It's
first
rough.
it's like
It's rough.
because you imagine it's without
not
telling
fun.
you, it's kind of like the black market, people being kidnapped and the stuff they have to do when they're doing it. You just imagine, you like, yo, because when I watch something, I try to watch like, what if this is really happening? And it is happening.
Yeah.
We just
Yeah.
don't see it. But like, what if this is really happening? Can you imagine, like, someone whose child gets kidnapped and somebody asked me this question. I hate to even be in a situation, but it's the truth. They're like, would you rather know your child, they found your child, you know, unfortunately not alive, or know that she's out there in the world being tortured and done? And I'm like, you know, unfortunately, I would rather my child, you know, be found not alive, because I don't want her being sold into the sex market and she has to live with that for the rest of life. So it's like it's
So
a scary
it's
thing. yo.
basically, you know how they say right now they're saying the woman is female. It's basically a show about Christianity being used to enslave, and it's very rough for women and men, but it's very rough
Yeah,
to watch it as a woman.
I gotta
But
check that out.
it's a great narrative.
I definitely
But
gotta check
yeah, Ava DuVernay, Shonda Rhimes, Courtney Kemp.
Power.
It's a lot of writers that don't get credit that write these shows. I'm definitely a fan of a lot of writers that inspire me, especially writers of color. I'm inspired by myself,
Really?
Marlon,
As
Sif.
you should. As you should. be.
Yeah. What about you, Sif?
Honestly, like, I could say a whole bunch of names probably, but I don't want to like narrow it down and pinpoint it to just a couple names. Like, honestly, when it comes to me, my favorite person, whoever, writer, producer, director, it could be just even actor, it could be who's inspiring me right there in that moment. Like, whatever I'm like watching, whatever TV show, movie is like, whatever gives me that feeling in that moment, that's who is inspiring me right then and there. So that's what it is right there. I don't let like one person or one group of people define like how like
Right.
the inspiration in my life. To be honest, I'll get my inspirations from everybody.
Whatever makes you feel. I agree with that.
Nah,
Like,
most
wow,
definitely.
that was done beautifully.
Most
you feel me?
Okay, so next question is this: how do you stay relevant, but at the same time making sure that you're giving? You ever hear the saying that sometimes you give people what they need, not what they want? You understand what I'm saying? So how do you give people what they need, and without I don't want to say selling out, but without
Gotcha.
creating that. Because I do understand what Nubia is saying. My thing is, I respect Tyler Perry too, but sometimes I get tired of that chitlin circuit. We always just doing this, that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, nah, definitely.
Like, there's good messages too. You know what I mean?
I feel like when it comes to that, I'm not all about trying to be relevant. Everybody's gonna have their moment where they shine, and it's just it's a gift from God. Like, I'm not trying to stay relevant all the time. Like, let me do the next hot thing. Let me do the next hot thing. Like, when it's my time and when it's genuine, that's it. That's all I need. I don't want to be, yo, this happened, so yeah, let's go make a film about it, Noob and Sif. Like, let's go do it. Nah, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, and that's just how I see it.
What about you, Nubia?
I feel like when you're a creative just reflects the times or your circumstance or what you're witnessing. So anything I ever write, or I'm always inspired by something or someplace, but I do make it a point to make content that is from my heart and things that I care about.
Exactly.
And leave it up to interpretation, because I'm not here to explain it to you, because how you feel about it is how you gonna feel about it based off of what you went through.
Exactly.
And not but sometimes I write a poem and people take something totally different from what I was feeling when I wrote it or what it's actually about. But I never divulge that, because it's not art is for interpretation in all formats. You know what I'm saying? So, but I also feel like as an artist, you should definitely always be evolving or rotating or shifting or like trying different things. You know what I'm saying?
What about you, Sif? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Nubia. What you
Nah, it's cool. It's cool.
Okay.
Honestly, I think about it, I don't ever want to like compromise myself. I want to stay true to who I am. And so it's really not about being relevant.
Most definitely.
And
So
like,
you're not gonna be big 60 and take your clothes off on
I
stage?
don't know. I mean,
No,
I mean, like,
but I feel you.
the people may not love it, or they may not love it when they first hear about it, but when they see what I bring to them, then they be like, okay, at first I wasn't open to it, but now that I see this, I actually do love it. At the end of the day, it's gonna be if I love it, then that's what matters, because I'm not gonna put something out just because the people loved it more than I did. I'm not gonna put out something that I have no attachment to. I'm not inspired by it, and I don't believe in it.
Good stuff.
So
Good stuff. Noob, let me ask you this: you got any upcoming projects coming up or anything that?
Yeah, we have a Lucky, and then we have a project that we're shooting in August called Santa. That's really near and dear to my heart. Yeah, I actually cried before I wrote this project, because one of my childhood friends was mistaken for somebody. He was in Newark. I don't know why. He was shot a couple times and died like a couple months ago. And he was just such a sweetie. So I wrote Santa. It's gonna be great. I don't want to give too much away, but that's gonna be great.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good project.
That's your next upcoming project.
Next upcoming project, Sif. We got a project with Sif that's coming out. We got a project with another person on the team, and then I have a web series I'm working on called Post-Traumatic Sex Disorder. So that deals with, that's great too. So
That's great too.
So we working. We got a lot of work to do in the summer and in the fall.
I'm gonna ask y'all this last question, because we gotta wrap up soon. You being in a sorority, you being around different things and people, and I can only speak on my experiences. But as you grow, more and more people are going to want a piece of you.
Oh yeah.
As you grow, like I told you before, me and you kind of had the situation right after we talked about it. You know what I'm saying? We had a situation where people that are not in a direction that your creativity is going, that everybody doesn't share your vision and share your dream. How do y'all, how you gonna deal with that? Because I see great things still happening for y'all, and it's growing. Y'all young, which is good. You know what I'm saying? It's still gonna, there's gonna be evolution. So as I told you before, when you went with me when I had to speak, I said, Marlon, you're gonna have to start learning to tell people no. And unfortunately, people, they want to misconstrue the no with that means you're a snob or you're not.
Exactly.
And it's not the case, where you have to protect your brand. So have y'all experienced that? And if so, how are y'all navigating through that?
Man. I've definitely went through that and experienced that, and just as a CEO of the business, I'm blunt with people sometimes, especially when it comes to like people wanting to join Direct Focus
Or family.
like family too.
Definitely.
It like when you trying to come in and do something else, it's like nah. And Tip, no. Noob, no. Like, I'll be like, yo, nah, I'm not with that. No, that's not going
Messes
down.
up your flow.
But then sometimes, like what we experienced, it may be like, yeah, all right, take my email, take my, and it's like, then when the person don't hit you up, it takes you back to the, all right, nah.
This is why I say no.
This is exactly why I say no.
But remember what I told you
So-
too. Sometimes you got to let people hang themselves.
Oh yeah,
You
nah,
know what I'm
most
saying?
definitely.
You
most
want me to
definitely.
tell? Sure,
Yeah,
no problem.
Exactly. I gave that lady my email. She ain't text me back to this. I mean, hit me to this day. So
The same one from that you talked about.
Yeah. Now what is that? That's about almost a month now, right?
listen, it's out of
So
my
that
hands.
the door closes
It's
after a
closed.
couple
It's
days.
closed.
If
Oh,
really
don't
take.
hit me now.
Of course.
Don't hit me.
Go ahead, Noob.
For me, it's like I have people in my life, like I said, who get it, who are creators and who get it.
Yep.
But then I have, like you said, with the sorority stuff, it's just a lot of who I'm not anymore. Like a lot of like social responsibility and a lot of, for lack of a better term, girliness. A lot of stuff I just don't care about because the love I have for the people who brought me in and the love I have for the people I came in with, it became kind of hard for me to be like, nah, I really need to like not be rocking with y'all so I could get because I haven't written anything in 9 months. You know what I'm saying? And my book should have been out and I just haven't been writing it because I be at cookouts, right? So I'm at cookouts
Setting it out.
So if any of my sorors are watching, hi, lovely ladies of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. But yeah, so I just made a decision. Actually, Lance was telling me this the other day, like, you need to focus. And I'm like, you're right. So I just made a decision like a couple weeks ago to just get back on track and focus. And luckily, Marlon was still rocking with me because it was a time that I was just not doing my job. I wasn't doing it. So Marlon was just like, yo, look, sis, either
I'm on you.
You reel these scripts out or we gotta cut you loose.
I tell her all the time, I'm on you.
I tell
I'm on you,
Marlon like,
sis.
And you have to, you know what? That's
Yeah.
good though. Hold each other accountable.
Nah, most definitely.
Because
Most
that's
definitely.
just like she said. When I talk to her, I'm like, I know what's in you. You know what's in you.
Exactly.
Certain things,
Exactly.
they're not where you want to be, and that's not a negating
Exactly.
somebody. But you know what? My job is to be a part of this organization for community service.
Exactly.
Not an extra. And my thing is, when it stops me from doing my job, now we got to go on timeout.
Yeah,
And
that's
it is
true.
what it is.
That's true. Sif?
What's up, Seth?
Man, you think I have an answer ready? But honestly, when it comes to something like this, like I feel as though I don't think I'm gonna have a problem saying no because like it's already been situations with family when they see stuff that we're doing and they see what I'm doing and they're like, oh, you do this, oh, you do that. I'm like, I've been doing this. Like, where have you been? You know,
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
you wasn't supporting me for real.
this
So,
my 10th film.
like we've been here, like, but like at the end of the day, they like, oh, I'm gonna hit you up. I need you to do something for me. I'm like, no, you don't even do anything.
Yeah.
So
Put my daughter in your film.
like, no, we're not doing that. Yeah, I need you to come over here and do this. It's no, because you gotta be. If you're gonna support me the entire time. Like these people right here,
Exactly.
like they support me, I support them, we supporting each other.
Yep.
And like this is the type of support I need. These y'all see them right here. This is what I need. And if you not that,
And the ones that's
then,
at home.
then we don't need it. Oh
Shout
yeah,
out-
for
shout-
sure.
shout out
I
to
know
the
y'all.
team.
Oh yeah, we was gonna plug them. we had their picture up too. We was gonna plug all of them. I'm just saying, you know. Well, listen, folks, we gonna get ready to wrap up. We want to let y'all have a last word. You
Most
want to
definitely.
plug any information? You want to sit there and give websites, future projects coming up? Give you about a good 30 seconds to keep it up, and go ahead.
Follow Direct Focus on Instagram, www.directfocus.com. Am I lying, y'all? No.
No.
Marlon, the director, Sif, the producer,
Yep.
and you can follow me, Nubia, Nubiaa, Nubia with 2 A's. Don't get it messed up. That's
Yeah.
not me. Yeah, thank you. And Lucky's coming out early.
See, I knew
End of July.
you
End
see,
of
I knew
July.
you just
Okay.
kind of took that charge.
We
She's like, "I'll plug
gotta make this
everybody."
Newark
I ain't mad at
IFF
you.
deadline. We gotta make
Oh,
the
we
deadline. We gotta make the deadline for the Newark International Film Festival, which is
2
weeks from now,
Another
so-
home team of mine. Shout
Yeah,
out to Ken.
yeah.
Shout out to Jen. Shout out to the whole team.
shout out to everybody.
Yeah, Newark Film Festival.
It's all
a,
love.
It's a good thing. It's a good
It's the
thing.
third year. We went to the press conference this morning.
I
It
was
dope.
fortunate enough to go there last year. So
Yeah, it's dope.
you know, it's funny at the Newark Film Festival. I'm gonna wrap up. The Newark Film Festival. It's funny. Like you had Bruce Lee when we grew up, but you also had Jim Kelly, which was a black martial artist, right? And there was this film that was there last year. It was about this brother from Newark, and he like knew martial arts and stuff like that. And it was like this martial arts film and stuff like that. Yo, it took me back, bro. I wanted to sit there and go get my daggone brush and rock some waves and put a do-rag on, get my karate shoes on, and get the broomstick off my mother's thing and be like, wah, wah. You know what I'm saying? You know, we all swear we knew something.
That's what's
But
up.
real talk, Tiff, word.
The final matter for the night is pretty much just be careful how you treat people when it comes to that whole hurt people
Most
thing.
definitely.
Be careful how you treat people. Don't take people for granted. Love on purpose, not for a particular purpose where it's malicious
Most
or
def.
anything else, but just pretty much be genuine, and learn how to get past certain hurts so that you can be productive and be prosperous in the next relationship that you're in. And whether it's the next relationship or whether it's a family or a friend, whoever it is, you know, we've got to get to a place where we are healthy and whole at the same time.
Exactly.
And so that's pretty much it.
Okay. Final word. Learn how to love you. Learn how to love you, because if you can learn to love you, you can learn to love someone else.
Exactly.
If you are constantly not being able to give to anybody else because you're draining yourself because of the mental war that's going on, you can't be prominent for anybody. As we said, you know, hurt people, and part of being hurt is, part of hurting people is sometimes you have to be open to listen to how you're hurting somebody. We don't never know what somebody's been through. We don't know their background. We don't know the abuse, whether it be. Everything is not physical. It can be verbal and mental. And sometimes people might have experienced certain things. Like, I'm very open with the molestation that I went through, because as black men, we don't talk about stuff like that. And it's not just the women it's happening to, but it's happening to our young boys too. So we grow up, wind up hurting other people. So I speak about that because that's kind of my banner and my victory, to be able to get past that. And with that being said, I have to learn. You know, sometimes maybe you might need therapy. Maybe you might need to sit and talk with someone. I've gone, you know, aside from the job that I do, you know, most therapists really need therapy anyway. You know what I'm saying? But we definitely have to learn as a community. I think Nubia alluded to it before. You know, we have to learn as a community how to love on each other. And sometimes part of the disconnect is what we're allowing our children to watch. People who wind up becoming very violent at a young age sometimes grow up to be adults that's very violent. So sometimes it's just like food. What we feed our kids and what we feed ourselves are what we're going to put out. So if we want to continue to put out good things, fill yourself with good thoughts. Be surrounded by good people. I said it before, rich people be with rich people and learn to love each other.
Exactly.
All right, y'all heard it here on Making Me Matter radio show. Oh, before we go, I completely forgot.
Oh,
We
book
are
bag?
doing what's called a Making Kids Matter back to school event. I will give you guys the details.
Right.
We are excited because
Little shorties with book bags, you know what I'm saying? And them apple juices that peel back with the foil, those is the best ones.
or Capri Suns,
No,
and
Capri's
so
is corny, yo.
I like
I can
Capri
tell you went to a
Suns.
prep. I know you from Piscataway. I'm talking about Capri Sun. We had the apple juices and orange juices that you peel back, the little foil ones.
The ones that
So-
cut your lip, the 25-cent.
Then
ones.
you didn't peel it right way.
Look,
So?
anyway. So at the end of the day, you guys make sure you tune in. I will be putting up information on our website, www.makingmematter.com. If you have not downloaded our app, make sure you guys go to the Making Me Matter
right,
radio
we got
show
an app.
page. We have an app where you can check out our what we do on YouTube and everything else. So make sure you guys tune in. Make sure you guys stay consistent with us. Next week, somebody say next week.
Next week.
Next week, we have a special guest. Judah Priest will be checking in with us. We're going to catch up with him, see what he's going on. You know, he's all about that woo. So we will check in and see what he's got going on. Make sure you guys tune in
Wu-Tang.
next
He will be
Thursday.
with us. Wu-Tang.
Yes, my people's Judah Priest. So we will be talking to him next week. So make sure you guys tune in next week, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you go to the website. Make sure you tell a friend, tag a friend, text a friend, tell them all about the Make Me Matter radio show. And we are out. Have a good night.
8 Squad Rebel Radio.
Yo, let's
The
get the
most
picture.
talked about internet radio station in the land.
city.
dear Lord, why didn't I look your way when you were there all alone to guide me through the storm? Raise my hand to you, thank you for all you do. You have saved me, and I praise thee. You have brought me through. You have
heard somebody call him the man from Nazareth. I know him as a heart fixer, a mind regulator, my rock, my savior. All you gotta do is reach out for his love. Believe, watch the blessings start pouring. But your love has lifted me. I found it. I found it. I was a doubting Thomas. I tipped down the same road Mary Magdalene abused.